Thank you everyone for joining. So, good morning, good evening, wherever you're joining from, and Happy New Year to start with. So, this is going to be a topic I think if you have been on investing or planning to invest in Hyderabad real estate, you have been definitely following about Neopolis, and primarily on Neopolis area, we have seen definitely a lot of traction in terms of new auction coming up, and we actually have planned to segregate all the projects in terms of three buckets, and this is all about the existing projects, the ongoing projects which are there, and the three buckets we have created is below 4 CR, 4 to 8 CR bucket, and 8 CR plus bucket. And in the below 4 CR bucket, you have primarily four projects as of today, and I'm talking about all the starting prices. Obviously, each of these projects have their higher end of sizes, and there actually the prices could be higher. So you have Prestige Claremont, Cascades, Neo by Eula and Globus, and the upcoming project from Globus and Eula, which is plot number 19, also possibly would be in the 4 CR or below that range. Uh, and in terms of other options, you have 4 to 8 CR segment. My Home 99, Rajapuspa Castle Luxura, and one by MSN. These are the three as of today, which are above 8 CR segment at the starting price. And primarily looking at these new plots which has come as part of the Neopolis 3.0 auction, these are the developers who got these plots, and most of these plots are close to 4 acres in size. So this is going to be medium size like apartment we're expecting could be like 3,000 to 5,000 square feet apartments you'll be getting. And even if you look at all these plots which got auctioned, the most crucial or important plots are this one, which was owned by MSN Realty and Globus. These are the two best ones. Also, GHR could have better views. So these three could be plots which have good visibility in terms of other projects which are coming nearby. Just to give you some pictures of where we are today, this is the latest development, and obviously you might have seen videos on our channels showcasing all these latest developments. But in terms of all the pictorial representation, if you can see, these are the latest developments on the ground. Most of the projects which are right now either ongoing projects or very less number of upcoming projects. So this is the current development as you can see, and and a lot of projects are also coming closer to My Home Nisada as well as Prestige Claremont. So that area. So developments are happening at a fast pace, especially on the ongoing projects. And this is the latest developments of Cascades, Neopolis. Then you have Neo by Eula and Globus. So all those developments are as well as going at very fast pace. So I'll quickly take you to the Excel, which will help you to find out. And we are anyway, this Excel is in a state of like being updated. And here you have the latest price of each of the projects. And one of the things to note here is the pricing is there is obviously the base price, but we are just going beyond that, not only stopping at the base price, because as you know, most of the projects in um, Neopolis, you have a lot of other things which is added on in terms of like floor rise, like facing charges, preferred location, clubhouse, like air conditioning, car parking. Lot of things get added. So your decision should not be based on the base price only, rather should be based on all these other factors. So we have the other factors for primarily started for at least 50% of the projects. Other projects also we are going to add it here, and we'll share that list with all of you, which can help you take a decision on a final price standpoint. And thereby, if you are also comparing one-time payment option versus construction link plan, the delivery date also is crucial because it helps you to determine at what price point you need to enter if it's a one-time payment. So those things will also be covered in this Excel. So as you can see, even some of the projects has air conditioning charges, you have preferred location charges going up to 500 rupees per square feet for some of the projects. So that's really huge, and that can be a make or break for a deal for most of the projects. So you have to be aware of these things before taking any decisions. And these are the five projects which are, I think, going to be like announced this year. And if you have been analyzing the market and especially the Neopolis market, typically from the date the project gets launched and within the first year, the price gets appreciated by almost 20 to 25% in the first year itself. In the subsequent year, the appreciation could be less, could be let's say less than 10%. But the first year is where you're going to see a lot of appreciation, whether you are talking about Neo by Globus, you have Cascades, Neopolis. You take any example, you will see that in the first year itself, the appreciation has been closer to 20%. But next year onwards, it's been kind of 10% or below 10%. So if you are an investor, so the right point to enter is as soon as the project is launched, because but if you are end user, obviously you have the option to buy at any point of time. So that is where the maximum appreciation will come, and you can take example of any of these projects and can compare the prices of the date launched within 1 year and the appreciation after that. I think this Excel we're going to complete all other projects as well, and that's where we're going to define a parameter which will be the price per square foot, which is the final price, which includes everything, and that is where actually you can compare between projects. Because to give you some perspective, like Prestige Claremont doesn't have a separate charges for clubhouse, right? But some other projects might have different charges for clubhouse. Their clubhouse charges could be high, but their car parking could be less. So that is where, and also some projects even have air conditioning charges and many other charges, which really is significant. It's not smaller numbers, really significant numbers. So you can just compare that and take a call on this specific projects. Yeah, there are, I think, some questions regarding APR, where it is coming. So I'll show you on this. So the APR project is coming just in front of Neo by Euler and Globus. So this is the land for Neo and this is the land for APR.
There are so many residential projects are coming up in such a short span. Is there going to be demand for this, requirement for this? And I also want to know what is the rental potential of these projects. Who will rent such huge 3,000, 4,500, 5,000 square feet homes? Will there be a
Yeah.
demand or is it only for end users?
Yeah, I think there's another question also. I'll quickly, I was on mute, I could not answer that. The MSN one is coming here, I think just beside plot number 17. So that one is, we do not know the what size it will come. So I think they still do not announce, haven't announced it. So I'll let you know that. And regarding the question of such huge numbers of properties, so instead of like talking huge, we should actually quantify that. So if you look at all the properties which are projects that are coming up here, as of now, they are close to 10,500 units in Neopolis, right? And if you add others, like it could be another 3,000 or so. So close to 14,000 apartments are coming in Neopolis area. Assuming the fact that everyone who is in Hyderabad or let's say an NRI or everyone, their first preference at least is going to be in Neopolis, right? So is 15,000 number huge considering the number of people we have in Hyderabad and also people who are aspiring to come back? That is the answer. You have to take a call, right? No one can answer that for you. But if you think that number is not used, then obviously there will be demand. But that being said, as you said, the units of 6,000 square feet, 7,000 square feet units are going to be obviously less demand for those, and we have seen that. It's the fact that Rajapuspa Castle Luxura and some of the projects are really not moving that fast. You consider huge kind of sizes. But if you look at other ones, let's say these smaller ones, right? Close to 3,000 or 3,500 square feet are definitely moving fast. And there is a aspirational class which wants to go to that segment, 3,000 to 4,000 square feet segment. And if you look at that number, if let's say assume is 10,000 units in Neopolis, I don't think that's a really huge number. And considering the market and all, it is not going to be consumed, right? It will be consumed in future. Considering the fact that people from central part of Hyderabad will come back to Neopolis. People from, let's say, outside NRIs will come. So that being said, 10,000 number might not be a huge number in terms of consuming that segment. I hope I answered your question.
Sir, I have a Yes, sir. Sir, I have a 3.5 bedroom in Brigade Gateway. I have
Mm-hmm.
purchased it on the 51st floor. It's a very premium unit.
Okay.
I'm just an investor. I'm not going to come and stay in that property. Can I put it on rent? Will there be a rental demand for 3.5 BHK, 3,000 square feet, these kind of properties, sir?
Uh,
And what kind
um,
of rent I can expect?
yeah, the fact in Neopolis is one thing you have to remember. Neopolis might not be a great place to stay, at least for next 2, 3 years, considering a lot of construction would happen. But after 2029, 2030, it could be an amazing place, right? Like considering the fact that malls and everything will be coming up, almost less than 80, 90% will be complete by that time. I think that time you will have lots of demand. And as I said, we are going to have 10,000 units here, right? 10,000 maximum 12,000 units overall. And considering the fact that we have so many people wanting to come back, I think it should be consumed. But that being said, then what is the actual rental income come is that as per your expectation, that is something we'll see in future. But it is definitely going to be in demand. But what you are expecting as a rent versus what people want to give, there will be a gap for sure, right? Yeah, it's like there is a question regarding OTP, right? OTP option, like I think one-time payment option, if it is for a era-approved project, and if you're going in with all the things in favor of the builder in terms of their fund to complete the project, it's really good. And what we have seen in the past, at least one last 1, 2 years, people who generally make money are the ones who have invested in OTP, right? If you go for a construction-based plan, the very rare chances that an investor is going to make money, right? You will rarely find a person who is going through a construction-based plan like getting more than 10% per annum kind of return. The only exception was 2020 and 2022. So that is where, if you're expecting, let's say, 15% return or so, we have seen historically that one-time payment option at a very early stage of the project is typically who get those kind of rate. But at the end of the day, it's your risk appetite, whether you are able to take that risk, right? It all depends on you. But that those are the people who actually have got like um, almost much higher return compared to the normal construction based plan. Any other question anyone has to come off mute and ask?
Sir, can you comment about the special economic zone area, sir? Because I think that area is still untouched. Government has not taken a decision on allotment or auction on that. Please touch upon the idea, sir.
Yeah, regarding that, actually, government has given particular time to develop the IT companies there, but uh, actually, the companies didn't yet started their companies, IT companies, as per their timelines given by government. So that's why they are, as per previous information, they are what you call the government is or HMDA is ready to take back that allotted land bank, and we don't know. There is a what you call previous info that they may auction that land also in future, but we don't know like whether it will be commercial or residential purpose. So till now, the land which is allotted for sales, no other company has started any activity there. This is the information we have up to now.
Yeah,
Sir,
thank you.
some 75 acres of land has been
Hmm.
taken up by my home, and they were saying that some largest tech park in India is going to come. Is it working? I mean, is it on the card, sir? Is it happening, or is it still
Yeah,
on the
actually,
paper stage?
we do not want to comment on those things which are not on the news, right, or confirmed coming from the proper source. So yeah, there are always going to be rumors like that, but I think you have to take a call based on what is like trustworthy source, right? But anyway, like for
Oh,
areas like Neopolis and all, the demand is going to come organically. So irrespective of my home or not, it's going to come up. And obviously, you have the business park which is coming. Those are going to be. We have seen like many new businesses are coming there, they are leasing like their office spaces there. So definitely next 2 3 years you're going to see like lots of new news coming in terms of office spaces coming up. And that is the biggest question people are having now is, are there offices coming up in Neopolis, right? So that is the more crucial question to ask, because that's going to have the next level of development. We know as of today, like there are malls coming up, there are hotels coming up. Those are definitely going to come in Neopolis, but office spaces are also coming. There's no doubt it's not going to come. So that will obviously be coming.
I just have a
Yeah, I have a
query on
question
this.
regarding the office space.
Yeah, please go
Yeah.
ahead.
Um, so, how soon do you think office spaces will be a reality? Because at this point, there's a lot of residential and malls coming up, right? But office spaces is a totally different ballgame. All the office spaces which are closer to the city, closer to Gachibowli and High-Tech City, those should be exhausted before
Hmm.
companies really look into this area, right?
You have obviously my home's biggest one, which is coming up, Grava Business Park. But at the same time, you have many other office spaces are planned in Kokapeta as well, right? You have Rajapuspa's office space coming up, many other office spaces coming up. So both, if you combine both Neopolis and Kokapet, you're going to have a significant competitor to high-tech city in future, next 3 4 years. Like new projects will be coming up closer to Pupalagoda, Kokapet, and like Neopolis. This belt is going to have definitely a good competition in terms of all the like businesses coming to this area. That is definitely going to happen. Is it going to surpass high-tech city? Not sure for next 10 years, but it's going to be a really good competitor to high-tech city.
What is the expected ratio residential versus commercial in Neopolis by
Ratio in terms of
2030?
square feet, you mean? Because you can't.
No, I think totally, if you take a total Neopolis area,
Hmm.
30% commercial, which means office
Okay,
spaces, or
okay.
70% residential, or is it a
The
50
office
50 60
spaces are
40?
not coming up that much. But that being said, one big office space like Rava Business Park should be good enough for all the other residential space combined, right? Because if you look at typically, even if it's 10%, 10% of to 90% is really ideal ratio, right? Anything higher than that is a plus. But today it is close to 20 to 80%, right? 20% commercial, 80% residential. The only thing we are saying is the number. If you look at the residential apartments, when like say 10 is so 20 residential apartments is coming, only one commercial is coming. But if you look at the here size of Grappa Business Park, and if you compare that with all other residential plots combined, it's almost 20% of the entire land bank, right? So that being said, it's really good enough. And if you look at even Sattva Knowledge Park and Sattva Business Park in High Tech City, if you have those kind of one set of here, that's almost good enough for like thir 20 or 30 apartment communities, right? They have so many people can come to office space. It's not that one person needs 2000 square feet office space. A 100 square feet office space is good enough for a person, right? So that is where I think it is still good. There is nothing wrong in terms of that. But the question is about how that space will be consumed, right? When exactly we're going to see all the leaves happening for whatever is being constructed. Forget about new construction. I think what we should focus on is whatever the existing construction, what percent is going to be leased. That is the bigger question to ask, and that's what we'll see in next 2 3 years. And since this is my home, I'm pretty sure like they are going to have definitely have good resources and good kind of companies coming up here. So that is the best part.
So
Hey, this
even
is
Brigade
Ratnakar.
also, coming up with office spaces, right? World Trade
Yes, yes,
Center
yeah, correct.
in
Yeah, yeah, that is
in
also
case.
coming up. I
Yeah,
think the question is not about space. The question is about what percentage going to be leased. That is the bigger
yeah, yeah.
question. So,
Hey, I have seen, this is Ratnakar from Chicago. So I have seen the prices are skyrocketing day by day. And like every square feet, they're just going for 11,000, 12,000, 13,000, whatever they want, they're saying right now. It's moment. This tall, as life, they're putting a skyscrapers, their rates are going on higher and higher, right? And now, does this consider as a bubble or a bust? Going forward, it could be a bust too. Sometimes how much people can be affording that kind of amount to
mhm.
paying for a square feet wise. And it's
Yeah,
going to be
like,
at
yeah,
this moment, it will be a bubble. But tomorrow it
yeah.
will be bust. What will be happen for the people?
That is correct, but I think good part of Hyderabad is you have other areas still is manageable, right? If you just go 5 kilometers from high-tech city Neopolis, you have areas like Kollur, Osman Nagar, where the price is still 7,000 rupees per square feet, right? So the bubble is, even if you consider the bubble, it's only happening in Neopolis. And every city you go, you have area like that, which is almost double the price of other areas, right? This is nothing new, right? So that being said, it's not that if all the places like the Kollur and everywhere you go, if the price is 10,000 plus, you may consider the bubble, right? Anyone who can't afford this, they can always go to Kollur and buy their property, right? So that is where I see it is still market driven. It hasn't gone to a stage of being considered as a bubble, and each and every city will have a place like that where everyone would aspire to come, and it might defy like all the logic that might personally have, but that's going to happen and it's not. I think the only problem is if that number goes beyond, let's say, today we have 30 apartment communities, if there's 100 apartment communities, if that number keeps on increasing without any restriction, that's a problem. But if it's going to be restricted in terms of its explicitity, then it's good enough. I think that is the problem. But I think to your point, this is at a juncture where it can be a bubble if it's uncontrolled, but right now it's still manageable, is what I think.
But the thing is, like, if you see, the rates are not consistent at one point. Like, each company is putting their own kind
Exactly,
of
and
a,
people
you know,
who have a high price, people will not go
unimaginable,
for it, right?
unimaginable kind of rates.
Exactly.
Like,
Let's
one
say
is saying, like,
let's say MSN
yeah,
and
right.
Brigade, like they have a very high price. So people will not go for that, right? If people think this is the right price, they will go to that price. And that is where you have all options starting from 9,000 rupees per square feet to 15,000 rupees per square feet. You have all the options. And if a one-to-one discussion we obviously have given the numbers. You can WhatsApp us and we can connect. All right, so I think we have just 1 minute left. And if you want to have
Yeah,
a one-on-one,
thank you. Appreciate you answering my questions. Thank you.
yeah, perfect. Yeah, thanks a lot.